Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Boisterous coming to you with some non-league nonsense out of the Shattered Temple. Over here in the right-hand position, we have EdPowers spawning in as the red Protoss, and down here in the southern position, we have his enemy CARLOpolice spawning in as the blue Protoss. And just as a quick, by the way, no league nonsense is just for people that don't send me their leagues or that I cannot find out by searching their names on Battle.net. Because I don't think you can find people's character codes and replays. And if I'm wrong about that, somebody please tell me in the comments or over on the forums, because I think I'm right. I just don't know if I'm completely right. Yeah, that's basically what no league nonsense is. So anyway, we have CARLOpolice dropping down his pylon much faster than his opponent. Yeah, a lot faster, actually, approximately 13-14 seconds faster, which means EdPowers is going to be supply blocked for like 4 or 5 seconds. That is not the way you want to begin a game. You definitely don't want games to kick off with you supply blocking yourself. That's not the best way to open it up. However, he's bouncing back from it. He's not really behind in probes at all. Yeah, he's actually, what? He's ahead in probes? He's supply blocked himself? Did CARLOpolice cut probes to get an early gateway out? I don't think. CARLOpolice just stopped producing probes for a second there. That was strange. So actually, apparently supply blocking yourself is definitely the way to go at the start of a game. Just, you know, drop your supply a bit too late. Not really, it wasn't that major. I think they were like 2 seconds behind. However, I like making big deals out of small things, because that's how I roll. And we have the probe from CARLOpolice being very annoying, chasing around the probe from EdPowers. EdPowers' probe is going for the kind of, I don't know quite how to describe this. It's just like a crazy and completely, not needed pattern. Because if you just hit Patrol, which is this fancy button right here, and then Shift, and then you just click on 5 different spots, your probe will just make that pentagon until he dies, or until you tell him to stop. But, let's be honest, you keep your probe in there until he dies, because you are a ruthless leader. Anyway, we have EdPowers dropping a much later assimilator than his opponent. Also, his Cyber Core is like 10 seconds later. All of his things appear to be just a bit later than his opponent's, which isn't good, because with such a late assimilator, that means his warp gate is gonna be like 30 seconds behind, because he's gonna need time to get those to get gas out of this assimilator, and misclicking and putting a probe here doesn't help at all. So there's definitely a large amount of things that EdPowers could be doing to really get his gameplay up a little bit more. Just tiny little details, like for example, you don't need a wall off in PvP. You don't, because sentries, the mobile wall off, can do that job for you until you actually don't need it anymore. So getting a fast assimilator down, I think, is better than going for this kind of this wall off, because if you get that fast sentry out, not only is it good at your ramp, it's good at his ramp too. It's basically good wherever the hell you want it to be good at. Plus the sentry has Guardian Shield, and Guardian Shield is really nice in 4-gate engagements where most of the units tend to be stalkers. Anyway, we have CARLOpolice going for 3-gate, EdPowers actually going for a 4-gate, so some scary gateway plays coming out from both of our players. And yeah, there's the 4th gateway out of CARLOpolice, and he also already has a proxy pylon up and running in the back of the base. So, I feel like CARLOpolice is just, he's like 15-20 seconds ahead of his opponent at this stage in the game, which is definitely a good spot to be in PvP, because his warp gate finished, his opponent still has 20 seconds on it. Oh, that's rough. It's actually really rough. It's getting chrono boosted out, so that 20 seconds is actually only like 12-15 seconds, but still, it's pretty nasty. Interestingly enough, however, it looks like EdPowers is taking the lead on supply. So even though he's made a couple of sloppy mistakes, he's really good at being consistent about those sloppy errors. Like for example, the late assimilator was kind of an error. It just was. because I guess the gateways were timed well enough. However, you know, that assimilator, you want to drop halfway through your first gateway so that you can get that warp gate up as fast as possible. However, the fact that he got two gateways up faster than his opponent means that he's actually kind of ahead on units, which is always a plus. The only issue for EdPowers is that because he had a later assimilator and he hasn't started mining out of his second assimilator yet, he doesn't have any sentries. And sentries are really, really good when you're fighting at ramps. Like, really, really good. Because they're basically walls. If you drop a wall on a ramp and you have a sentry and you use that wall or use force fields, you will win the game. This engagement angle is much better for EdPowers, much better. Two of his zealots actually got in there and did some significant damage to stalkers. They have target firing out CARLOpolice, whereas EdPowers is, you know, not target firing. And why you see. You had the advantage. EdPowers, one of his stalkers is almost dead. EdPowers. EdPowers. They're gonna take a couple pot shots at these stalkers, but I don't think it. Actually, wow, they did a lot of hull damage. A lot more hull damage than I thought. Now, interestingly enough, CARLOpolice has no freaking clue. In a PvP, you want a clue. You want to know when your opponent is dropping two pylons in the back of your base. Like, because, you know, basically, if EdPowers gets 3 sentries, this is game over. Because CARLOpolice isn't going to be able to break up a ramp if it has sentries, because stalkers aren't massive units. And EdPowers is going to be able to quite easily break up a ramp, because he has pylons in the back of the base. So, yeah. I don't know. I think CARLOpolice had such a great advantage, and then he's kind of just throwing the game at this point. He has, what, 4 stalkers and a zealot against 7 stalkers from EdPowers. So EdPowers is probably going to be feeling confident enough to drop that, to drop more units over here. And neither of them has gone for an expansion, but expansions are usually death wishes in PvPs, especially 4-gate versus 4-gate. If you go for an expansion, ugh. But also, interestingly enough, I'm surprised CARLOpolice didn't go for an expansion, because he could have just dropped a couple sentries and then just started force fielding the ramp and rotating force fields on the ramp. And EdPowers would have been forced to tech in CARLOpolice if he got like a forge and then just expanded, and there's his expansion. This is a really bad time for an expansion. This is a really bad time for an expansion. A really, really bad time for an expansion. Like, Nexuses are not good at holding off pylons in the back of your base. So CARLOpolice, he's looking pretty dead. He has the stalker advantage over here, but EdPowers, of course, has the positional advantage, plus the fact that his forge just finished means that he has, you know, the fact that he has a forge and can drop cannons. So, actually, CARLOpolice is gonna bust up the ramp. EdPowers probably should stop that. But with this next warping of stalkers and the fact that CARLOpolice doesn't have any money, I think this game is going to go to EdPowers. And CARLOpolice saying well played. So, and CARLOpolice just left the game. So this replay is probably going to end soon. Nope, EdPowers still thinks he's there. I mean, CARLOpolice left the game, right? Yeah. There's still 2 minutes left. Alright, so I'm just gonna speed on through the rest of these minutes as I make kind of an important announcement. I was recently approached by the website sc2clans.org because they were interested in me helping to commentate a team series that they're hoping to start in the May to July region. So dates aren't really specific right now, but if you guys want to support this tournament and support this project, head on over to sc2clans.org, sign up for an account, maybe talk to your clan leaders, or if you are a clan leader, talk to the website and sign up your clan for it. And also, if you're not part of a clan, it's a great place to get to be part of a clan. There's a pretty big roster. I think it's 15 or 16 clans in like the collaboration right now. But again, just head on over there, show your support, because the bigger that community gets, the easier it's going to be to get sponsors for the tournament, the easier it's going to be to get that tournament off the ground. So please go over there and help it out, because it would be awesome. And hopefully that would be a series that I would do with Kadoink. I already talked to him tentatively, so we're going to continue with this collaborations between the two of us. Now, of course, if you want to send in any games to me, you can send them into boisteroussc2@gmail.com. If you want to subscribe, follow me, watch any of the other videos I've commentated over the last 6-ish months, you can head on over to youtube.com/user/boisteroussc2 and click on the forum, link in the description. Post your support there. And yeah, this is Boisterous, signing out.